Am I the idiot for taking away my daughter's phone after she shared my dirty laundry with her friends in a group chat? I, 50 female. Am a newly divorced single mom who was left by my ex. After 27 years of marriage. After his mistress became pregnant. I have a 17-year-old daughter and a 26-year-old daughter. My 26-year-old lives abroad. My ex-husband was physically and verbally abusive our entire marriage. The physical abuse began in earnest in our mid-20s and reached a peak in our early 30s. I only have a HACE diploma. I originally wanted to go to college after marriage, but my ex's abuse had me paralyzed to do anything he labeled as opposing undermining him and our family, which included education and work. I tried to leave many times from around age 26 to 33, when the physical abuse was the worst, but he'd find me. He'd alternate between gifts and apologies and threats. He also involved our bishop who sided with him. He would go through our trash and once found a pamphlet for a community college program, and the ensuing rage nearly landed me in the hospital. He'd call 5 times a day when he was at work, and would often hit me if I missed a call accusing me of cheating or job hunting. Mid-30s his physical abuse died down a bit, but the verbal abuse and controlling fixation, where he'd constantly be paranoid and call me a liar, sneaky, undermining, remained until our late 40s when he began ignoring me completely. I was so broken down at that point that I was an emotional robot with no interests, enjoyment of life, aspirations. That's when he started calling me dumb, boring, empty. He even said he'd prefer a liar and an undermine over what I was now and left me for his pregnant mistress who later called the cops on him for hitting her but declined to press charges. My ex wasn't a big earner and spent a lot keeping up appearances, so I got around $7,000 in the divorce. I understand many would be thankful for what I got. I got a job after 2 months making $14 but my boss said he can't schedule me full-time, take it or leave it. But I'm concerned about my retirement, because all I want is to be able to retire in my 70s with consistent food and shelter, since I'm already having health issues. So I asked my 17-year-old who took a personal finance elective to help me read through some information I found online about retirement savings. The other day my phone was dead and I needed to look something up, so I used my daughter's phone. I found a group chat where my daughter was asking her friends who were in the class for advice, and they were saying I don't know. Sounds tough, or saying I should apply for hospital jobs. She then wrote, I know my mom is an example of what not to do, but help please. She also aired laundry about how her new stepmother was like a mini version of me and doesn't understand why people like her dad get off on the fighting, and his new wife opposing him, which leads to him tearing her down and then making up with her. She also claims that I was thrown to the side by my ex because he got bored of me being what he wanted, and a classmate said maybe her dad likes the fighting because he knows he'll win and feel like a champion. I just feel it was so disrespectful since I've told her about the abuse, yet she doesn't understand the toll it takes on you. I didn't need her airing out my dirty laundry. Her response was she cut her dad off, so she does understand and was trying to help. I took her phone for the afternoon, saying maybe she'll think twice criticizing my choices to her friends. Comments. Comment 1. I can only imagine what it was like for the daughter to be in that home. She can't be unscathed by what was happening to her mom, even if she was not a direct target, which we have no info about. Honestly, they both need serious help. Both need counseling, and OP needs to get away from that bishop, who seems to be blaming the OOP and enabling, if not defending, the father. Comment 2. I understand OOP and why she was upset with her daughter. I don't think it was about covering for the ex at all. I think her pride was hurt. She was used to her shitty abusive ex hurting her pride, but she probably did not expect any pain to come from her daughter. That said, she was in the wrong. Her reaction was emotional and aimed at the safer target, her daughter, who triggered the negative feelings, rather than her ex who caused them. Update. My daughter said that it's okay, and that she didn't mean to say that I was boring. She says that she just thinks her dad is somebody who would much sooner reward bad behavior than good, and that if I had been a liar, or even a cheater, somebody who mouthed off to him or snuck around, he would have found that more worthy of love, and that's very sad. I know the thread became about the one incident with my daughter, but I think at least partially it was a cry for help. Because I think I am coming to terms with the fact that the last time I worked for an extended period of time I was 19, working for a family friend who owned a store. I remember when I first got married, briefly helping my ex's father one day in the office of his business, where he told me to write out a few checks, by hand, to vendors. When I first started looking for jobs, an acquaintance looked at me sideways when I told her about my experience issuing handwritten checks for bookkeeping, as I saw a posting for a bookkeeper jobs, and realized how out of it I was. My church has helped me. The bishop gave me money to pay 1/3 of my monthly rent once. But in exchange I did deep cleaning work, and was on call to do other odd jobs whenever he asked, and had to give him access to all my financial statements. He also asked questions about why I wasn't maintaining good relations enough with my children's father such that he decided to file for divorce. I am very grateful for the help he gave and will treasure it always, but want to do it on my own. So I am posting this update not just to update on the situation but to ask if anybody has any suggestions. My daughter is very worried because recently I've had health issues. I was recently treated for 2 STDs, one of which was bacterial but another which will affect me for the rest of my life. I also have issues with swelling from arthritis. So I posted the original because somehow I hope to be able to retire somewhere in my 70s. I understand retiring comfortably is asking too much, but just enough to live alone and not starve. I got advice about my ex's SS benefits and I'm hoping that will be enough. But if anybody has any tips, I would appreciate it too. I just want to live in dignity in my old age. Because I know health only continues to dip at my age. And while I can do the job I'm doing even with arthritis, for now know and know about when I'm 70. I talk with other women who are facing divorce on this, but they refuse to address the topic, saying I shouldn't act like this is something to put anybody in paralyzing fear over. I try not to be scared but feel lost. I'm hoping if I start from the bottom somehow, if I work hard enough, I can at least make my way into a corporate job so I can sit in my older age. But don't know if that's too much to ask.